How's it going, everybody? The PlayStation Summer Sale is running from now until July 29th, and there's a ton of absolute bangers on sale for up to 90% off. Every day I put together lists of the top games you can get at a deep discount, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Alright, with that out of the way, that's enough yapping from me, so let's get straight into it. For $10, 75% off, Resident Evil 4 is a reimagined, genre-defying survival horror experience that modernizes the classic with stunning visuals, refined controls, and an expanded, emotionally charged narrative bursting with atmosphere. 6 years after the Raccoon City outbreak, Agent Leon S. Kennedy is sent to rescue the president's kidnapped daughter from a remote European village where the locals are twisted by a mysterious, horrifying infection. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Darwin's Paradox is a cinematic platformer and puzzle adventure where Darwin, a clever young octopus, is ripped from the ocean and trapped in a mysterious industrial complex, using abilities like swimming and camouflage to escape and unravel a far-reaching conspiracy threatening humanity. Explore visually rich levels filled with dangerous machines, strange creatures, and puzzles in a story balancing humor, emotion, and suspense. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is a narrative RPG where you play a deeply flawed detective unraveling a murder while carving your own path through the city of Revachol. With fully voiced dialogue, a unique skill system that shapes your thoughts and actions, and unparalleled player choice that lets you interrogate, manipulate, or self-destruct in unforgettable ways, it delivers one of the most original role-playing experiences ever made. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster brings two of the most beloved RPGs of their generation to PS4 with remastered graphics, updated audio, and polished gameplay that preserves the heart of the originals. You'll follow the journeys of Titus, Yuna, and their friends across stunning high-definition environments while engaging in strategic turn-based combat and experiencing two epic stories. It's an 89 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 240 hours to get both platinums. For $6, 90% off, the Batman Arkham Collection delivers the definitive versions of Rocksteady's Arkham trilogy, including all content in one action-packed package. You'll experience remastered visuals and gameplay across Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, using Batman's gadgets, combat skills, and detective abilities to confront Gotham's villains, explore locations, and tackle stealth challenges. It's a 91 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 120 hours to get all three platinums. For $6, 70% off, Castlevania Requiem, Symphony of the Night, and Rondo of Blood is a classic action platformer collection that bundles two of the most beloved entries in the series into one package. With Richter Belmont's stage-based challenge in Rondo of Blood, Alucard's exploration-driven adventure in Symphony of the Night, and iconic gothic music paired with tight side-scrolling combat, it delivers a timeless Castlevania experience. It's an 87 average on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Resident Evil 3 is a survival horror game where you play as Jill Valentine, one of the last people in Raccoon City witnessing Umbrella's atrocities. You'll evade and fight relentless enemies, including the unstoppable Nemesis, explore tense, atmospheric environments, and solve environmental puzzles, while scavenging limited resources, crafting essential tools, and uncovering hidden story elements that reveal the city's dark secrets. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Persona 4 Golden is a critically acclaimed JRPG that blends supernatural mystery, turn-based combat, and life simulation, placing you in the shoes of a high school student in the rural town of Inaba as a series of bizarre murders unfold. Explore otherworldly dungeons, battle monstrous shadows, and confront the darker sides of yourself while building meaningful friendships and making choices that shape your story. It's a 94 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 125 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Resident Evil Code Veronica X continues the saga of Claire and Chris Redfield as they struggle to survive against zombies and monstrous experiments created by the Umbrella Corporation. Scavenge for weapons, ammo, and key items while facing horrifying creatures lurking in twisted corridors as you explore the Rockport Island facility and Antarctic base, uncovering secrets that reveal the unsettling truth behind the Ashford twins. It's an 82 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 90% off. NBA 2K26 is a basketball simulation where you build your My Player legend, collect stars for My Team, and manage an NBA franchise in My NBA or My League. Dominate every possession with realistic gameplay powered by ProPlay, team up with friends in immersive multiplayer arenas and online events, and shape your career, customize your My Player, and manage your roster while making strategic decisions on and off the court. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, and there's a broken trophy making the platinum unobtainable. For $8, 80% off, Resident Evil 2 is a masterful reimagining of the survival horror classic that revitalizes every terrifying moment with modern visuals, tight gameplay, cinematic atmosphere, and intense suspense throughout the unforgettable experience. Set in Raccoon City during the 1998 outbreak, rookie cop Leon Kennedy and college student Claire Redfield find themselves trapped in a city overrun by the undead, desperately searching for a way to escape. It's a 92 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Pentiment is a beautifully illustrated narrative adventure set in 16th century Bavaria, blending historical intrigue and political upheaval with handcrafted art inspired by illuminated manuscripts and early printed books. You play as a master artist caught in scandals, investigations, and social conflicts, navigating a world where every dialogue choice and alliance shapes the unfolding story in surprising and meaningful ways. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Bioshock the Collection is a remastered anthology of the award-winning Bioshock series, where you return to the haunting city of Rapture and the skybound Columbia to experience their gripping, story-driven worlds. You'll explore richly detailed environments and engage in intense combat with a mix of powers, weapons, and strategy, while uncovering the dark histories of these iconic settings. It's a 92 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 65 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $9, 85% off, the Metro Saga bundle includes all 3 acclaimed games, Metro 2033 Redux, Metro Last Light Redux, and Metro Exodus Gold Edition, delivering one massive, story-driven first-person shooter experience. Journey from the claustrophobic tunnels beneath Moscow to the vast, dangerous wastelands of post-apocalyptic Russia, fighting both human and mutant threats in tense, cinematic encounters. It's an 82 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 90 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $8, 60% off, Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition, is a remastered classic RPG that expands on the original Chrono Cross with upgraded HD 3D models, refined illustrations, enhanced music, and modern quality of life features that respect its original vision. Explore 2 intertwined parallel worlds, meet over 40 party members, and experience a richly layered story that spans dimensions while influencing the fate of the planet itself. It's a 92 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is a side-scrolling beat-em-up that reunites Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael in a high-energy showdown against Shredder and the Foot Clan. Battle through stages from Manhattan to Dimension X using character-specific combos, team up in up to 6-player co-op chaos, and take on classic villains like Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang in arcade-style action. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Thank Goodness You're Here is a quirky comedy slapformer where you play a traveling salesman exploring the eccentric northern English town of Barnsworth, completing increasingly bizarre and hilarious odd jobs. You'll navigate side-scrolling action vignettes and top-down exploration, interact with colorful, fully voiced townsfolk, and uncover new areas and stranger tasks as your antics shape the town in unexpected ways. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Terraria puts the entire world at your fingertips, blending survival, exploration, and limitless creativity into a unique, action-packed sandbox adventure full of discovery, danger, and endless possibilities. Dig through expansive caverns, battle hundreds of enemies, and gather thousands of resources to craft powerful weapons, armor, and items, while shaping the world around you with your own constructions and ingenious mechanisms. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Blasphemous 2 is a dark, gothic action platformer where the penitent one awakens in a new, twisted land, bound once more to the endless cycle of life, death, and penance within a cruel, unforgiving world. You'll traverse sprawling non-linear regions, uncover hidden secrets, and battle through a nightmarish procession of monstrous enemies and colossal bosses that test both reflex and resolve in thrilling, punishing combat. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is a cinematic action-adventure that concludes Lara Croft's origin story as she battles to stop a Mayan apocalypse and become the Tomb Raider she's destined to be. Explore dense jungles and hidden tombs, master stealth-based combat and traversal, and take on all 7 DLC challenge tombs alongside additional weapons, outfits, and skills in the most complete version of her defining journey. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Pacific Drive is a first-person driving survival adventure where your battered station wagon becomes your lifeline as you explore warped Pacific Northwest full of anomalies, abandoned research sites, and supernatural hazards. You'll scavenge resources, upgrade and repair your car, and venture deeper into the Olympic exclusion zone, navigating unpredictable terrain, violent distortions, and the ever-looming threat of zone storms. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Solar Ash is a high-speed, gravity-defying action-adventure from the creators of Hyper Light Drifter, set in a surreal dreamscape filled with the haunting ruins of long-lost fallen civilizations and forgotten worlds. You play as Ray, a daring Void Runner on a mission to stop the Ultravoid's path of eternal hunger, traversing ashen skies, grappling to dizzying heights, and battling grotesque mobs and massive otherworldly bosses. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Resident Evil Village is a chilling survival horror experience blending classic tension with modern gameplay, delivering a terrifying and unforgettable journey through a mysterious world. Set a few years after Resident Evil 7, Ethan Winters and his wife Mia are trying to live peacefully in a remote village, but their tranquility is shattered when horrors emerge, forcing Ethan to confront nightmarish creatures and unravel dark secrets. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Alien Isolation is a first-person survival horror game where Amanda Ripley searches a remote space station for clues about her mother, while an unstoppable xenomorph stalks her every move from the shadows. You'll creep through claustrophobic corridors as you manage scarce resources and use careful stealth to slip past hostile humans, malfunctioning androids, and the creature itself, while the station grows increasingly unstable. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, the LEGO Marvel Collection is an action-adventure bundle featuring 3 LEGO Marvel games and all their Season Pass content. Smash through levels in LEGO Marvel Superheroes against Loki, relive MCU battles in LEGO Marvel's Avengers, and face Kang the Conqueror in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 with time-hopping stages, massive character rosters, and drop-in co-op across all 3 campaigns. It's a 75 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 130 hours to get all 3 platinums. For $7, 50% off, The Wolf Among Us is a choice-driven narrative adventure set in a dark reimagining of the Fables universe, where fairy tale characters live in secret within the modern world, hiding dangerous truths and buried sins. You play as Bigby Wolf, investigating brutal murders while navigating morally gray decisions, tense interrogations, and a hard-boiled noir mystery where both what you choose and when you choose it can dramatically alter events. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Despelote is an intimate soccer-focused narrative experience about people, childhood, and community, told through the eyes of 8-year-old Julian and the streets and parks of Quito. You'll freely dribble, pass, and shoot a ball around real neighborhoods, interacting with locals as ambient conversations, radio broadcasts, and city sounds create a snapshot of daily life shaped by Ecuador's World Cup hopes and everyday cultural rhythms. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9, 70% off, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is an action platformer where Sargon races through a mythic Persian world using time-bending abilities and sharp swordplay to outfight deadly enemies and conquer layered platforming challenges. You'll chain acrobatics with precise combat across sprawling zones filled with hidden paths, tricky traversal sequences, and clever environmental puzzles that reward timing and steady mechanical mastery. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Okami HD is a beautifully remastered action-adventure that transforms the world into a living sumi-e ink painting, letting you play as Amaterasu, the Japanese sun goddess in the form of a legendary white wolf. Journey across the ruined lands of Nippon, battling the 8-headed demon Orochi, and using the celestial brush to manipulate the environment, solve puzzles, and unleash divine attacks in a uniquely artistic way. It's a 92 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is an epic dark fantasy RPG updated for a new generation with enhanced visuals, ray tracing, and immersive DualSense support. Play as Geralt, a monster hunter, and hunt a wide variety of beasts using swords, magic, and alchemy, while navigating morally complex choices, upgrading weapons and armor, and engage in side activities like card games, fistfights, and horse races across diverse environments. It's a 93 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 110 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle is a remastered dual pack celebrating Platinum Games' stylish action legacy, bringing together the original Bayonetta and the high-speed sci-fi shooter Vanquish in one explosive bundle. Unleash Bayonetta's over-the-top combo-driven combat, then switch to DARPA agent Sam Gideon in Vanquish to slide boost across battlefields using the blade system. It's an 82 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 55 hours to get both platinums. For $7, 66% off. Spiritfall is a fast-paced action roguelite with combat inspired by platform fighters, where you slash, smash, launch, and wall splat enemies across dangerous lands using an ever-changing arsenal of divine blessings and smooth, fluid movement. String together deadly combos, discover synergies among over 150 blessings, and grow stronger with each defeat by unlocking new powers and awakening mighty weapons with unique movesets. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 34% off, Undertale is a quirky, genre-defying RPG where you explore a world full of strange, lovable characters and face moral choices that determine how your unique story unfolds. You'll navigate turn-based battles where negotiation can replace violence, and dodge enemy attacks in a unique system that blends strategy with bullet hell mechanics, all while encountering charming pixel art and a story full of unexpected twists. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, the LEGO Harry Potter Collection bundles the remastered Years 1 through 4 and Years 5 through 7, letting you cast spells, brew potions, solve puzzles, attend lessons, duel rivals, and uncover secrets across iconic Harry Potter locations. Relive beloved storylines with charming LEGO humor and co-op gameplay, interact with hundreds of characters, unlock special abilities, and collect countless items across a whimsical, family-friendly world. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 45 hours to get both platinums. For $10, 50% off, Metal Gear Solid is a groundbreaking 3D stealth action game where Solid Snake infiltrates a nuclear weapons facility to stop the terrorist group Foxhound and prevent global catastrophe. Sneak through Shadow Moses Island using radar-based stealth mechanics, engage in boss battles like Psycho Mantis and Sniper Wolf, and experience a story-driven campaign filled with live-action footage and memorable codec conversations. It's a 93 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak is a hunting adventure bundle, combining the base game and its massive Sunbreak expansion in one set. Explore expansive maps, track and battle fearsome new monsters, utilize the wire bug for unprecedented mobility, ride your loyal Palamute companions in a combat, and face increasingly challenging hunts with friends or solo in dynamic environments full of surprises and epic encounters. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 250 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Kingdom Come Deliverance puts you in the boots of Henry, a blacksmith's son navigating a brutal civil war after his village is destroyed and family murdered, blending historically accurate medieval realism with deep role-playing elements. Explore a massive open world filled with castles, sprawling fields, and bustling villages, where every choice, from combat style to dialogue, can affect the story and how NPCs respond to you. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Eternights is a dating action RPG that blends a heartfelt, character-driven love story with fast-paced, anime-inspired combat, challenging you to make the most of your time during a world-ending apocalypse. Scavenge for supplies between deadlines, explore dungeons, battle infected in real-time encounters, and deepen bonds with 5 quirky companions to unlock powerful skills, hidden story routes, and unique relationship events. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Castlevania Advance Collection is a 4-game anthology of early 2000s action exploration classics, including Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, Aria of Sorrow, and Dracula X, where you battle Dracula and his minions across sprawling, intricate 2D castles. You'll use unique systems like dual setup, spell fusion, and item crash, while mastering abilities and enjoying tight combat, exploration, and challenging encounters. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, BloodRayne Revamped is a frenetic third-person shooter that follows Rain, an agent of the Brimstone Society, as she hunts supernatural threats during World War II. Acrobatically slash and shoot your way through Louisiana swamps, Argentine mines, and a ruined German castle, wielding vampiric abilities and an arsenal of deadly weapons while uncovering a sinister plot involving powerful occult relics. It's a 70 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $9, 70% off, Risen is a gritty, consequence-driven action RPG set on the volcanic island of Faranga, where ancient temples have risen from the ground and bizarre creatures terrorize the population amid mysterious earthquakes. Shipwrecked and stranded alone after a failed expedition by the tyrannical Inquisitors, master the sword, staff fighting, or magic as you navigate rebellion, tyranny, and mystic rituals to decide the island's fate. It's a 77 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, LEGO Bricktales is a puzzle adventure game where you restore your grandfather's amusement park, explore imaginative LEGO worlds, and solve creative brick-based challenges with your little robot companion. Build structures, tackle physics-based puzzles, and travel through diverse biomes, from jungles and deserts to castles and islands, while unlocking skills, customizing rides, and finding hidden secrets along the way. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 90% off, The Quarry is a cinematic horror adventure where you play as 9 summer camp counselors trapped in Hackett's Quarry, facing bloodthirsty locals and a far darker, supernatural threat. You'll make critical choices for each character, influence who survives, and experience high-tension sequences brought to life by incredible performances from a star-studded cast, including David Arquette, Ariel Winter, and Brenda Song. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 80% off, Tekken 7 is a fast-paced, competitive fighting game that brought the iconic franchise to the next-gen consoles for the first time, with stunning Unreal Engine 4 visuals and richly detailed arenas. You'll master a diverse roster of fighters, each with unique moves, devastating combos, and distinct playstyles, while engaging in intense one-on-one battles enhanced by new mechanics, rage arts, and strategic counterattacks. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes, is a cinematic, choice-driven horror game where every decision shapes the story, delivering tense, branching narratives full of dread, suspense, and shocking twists. A military unit and CIA operative investigate a suspected chemical weapons facility in Iraq, only to be trapped beneath the desert in the ruins of a buried Sumerian temple, awakening a deadly ancient threat. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Cult of the Lamb is a darkly charming roguelike management game where you play as a possessed lamb building a devoted cult, spreading your influence and crushing heretics across an ever-changing world. Explore procedurally generated regions, collect resources, perform rituals, and train your woodland followers, all while embarking on dangerous crusades that blend combat, exploration, and clever, tactical decision-making. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5, 83% off, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is an action RPG where you explore the vast open world of Grancis in 1080p HD, taking on fearsome monsters with dynamic combat and fully customizable abilities for every playstyle. You'll choose from 9 unique classes, command 3 AI companions called pawns, and use climbing, grappling, and magical skills to engage gigantic creatures up close while exploring diverse environments. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, The Pathless is a mythic adventure where you play as the Hunter, a master archer exploring a vast, mystical island alongside your loyal eagle companion to dispel a curse of darkness that threatens the land. You'll perform fluid acrobatics, execute trick shots with a unique archery system, and soar through forests, meadows, and snowy tundras, while solving ancient puzzles and learning the island's dark, haunting, hidden history. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For For $10, 60% off, Jusant is a meditative action puzzle climbing game where you ascend a mysterious, towering structure at your own pace, exploring alternative paths and unraveling secrets from a long-lost civilization while enjoying moments of quiet reflection and discovery. Master your climbing tools, manage your stamina, and navigate changing environments while uncovering clues about the tower's past and discovering the best routes to your goals. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 80% off, Ashen is an open-world action RPG where you play a wanderer seeking a place to call home, navigating a vast, punishing world filled with danger, secrets, and opportunities for discovery. Encounter other players in a passive multiplayer system, choosing to fight together or go it alone, while exploring dynamic, beautifully crafted environments from murky bogs to sprawling fjords, ancient palaces, and hidden ruins teeming with lore. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Monster Hunter World Iceborne Master Edition is an action RPG where you hunt massive monsters across dynamic, breathtaking ecosystems, now enhanced with the Iceborne expansion, new quests, and master rank challenges. Track, battle, and defeat towering beasts using a vast arsenal of weapons and armor, alone or in online co-op, while exploring environments filled with secrets, rare resources, and formidable wildlife. It's a 90 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 300 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a puzzle-filled mystery adventure where you play as Sissel, a ghost who wakes up with no memory after being murdered and must solve the mystery of his own death before sunrise. You'll possess and manipulate objects and unravel intricate puzzles, while interacting with a cast of charming and eccentric characters, using your supernatural abilities to influence events and uncover hidden clues across the city. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7, 90% off, Dead Island 2 Ultimate Edition is a vibrant, over-the-top first-person action RPG where you explore gore-drenched Los Angeles teeming with zombies, larger-than-life characters, and chaotic pulp-style mayhem at every turn. This Ultimate Edition includes both story expansions and a variety of special packs, from golden and pulp weapons to premium characters, offering endless zombie-slaying fun, intense combat, and customization. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Arizona Sunshine Remake is a VR zombie shooter in the post-apocalyptic Grand Canyon, surviving undead hordes with motion-controlled shotguns, machetes, and other wielded weapons amid scarce ammo while searching for survivors. This complete edition includes all DLC, co-op campaign and horde modes for up to 4 players, a revamped gore system, high-resolution textures, and bite-sized sessions letting you play short bursts or the full story. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9, 55% off, BloodRayne 2 Revamped is an action-adventure game where you play as a Dampier hunting her dangerous vampire siblings. Slash and shoot through hordes of demonic and human enemies using acrobatic movements, rail slides, and fatal finishing moves, unleash vampiric powers like time dilation and enhanced strength, and explore detailed environments filled with deadly traps and visual upgrades. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 65% off, Tales of Kenzera Zau is a mythological adventure about a young shaman named Zau who journeys through the lands of Kenzera to bargain with the god of death and save his father. Wield cosmic powers, battle restless spirits in rhythmic combat, and explore vibrant 2.5D realms filled with ancestral lore, mystical creatures, and secrets, while uncovering the emotional story of grief, courage, and the shaman's path through life and death. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons Remake is a beautifully reimagined adventure where 2 siblings embark on a heartfelt journey to find the fabled Water of Life and save their ailing father. Rebuilt with modern visuals, enhanced performance, and a fully re-recorded orchestral soundtrack, this remake preserves the original's touching narrative while enriching every scene with sharper detail and more cinematic presentation. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Unpacking is a Zen puzzle decorating game where you pull treasured belongings out of moving boxes and organize them into warm, lived-in spaces that quietly reveal the life behind the objects. You'll place books on shelves, hang clothes, and arrange personal keepsakes across 8 different moves, creating a seamless blend of tactile block-fitting puzzles and environmental storytelling that grows richer as the years pass. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9, 85% off, Scarlet Nexus is a futuristic action RPG set in a distant world where humanity's discovery of a psionic hormone grants psychic abilities that reshape society forever. Elite psionics form the Other Suppression Force to defend what's left of civilization when brain-hungry creatures descend from the sky, and you'll experience this battle through the eyes of two gifted soldiers whose intertwined journeys unravel a mind-bending story. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $6, 70% off, Plate Up is a chaotic restaurant management roguelite where you build, run, and expand your own eatery while cooking dishes, serving customers, and managing staff creatively and efficiently. Plan your menu, design your kitchen, and upgrade equipment while coordinating with up to 4 players, customizing your restaurant, and tackling hectic shifts filled with demanding customers, challenging recipes, and procedural surprises. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 60% off, Indica is a surreal third-person narrative adventure where a young nun begins hearing the devil's voice and ventures beyond her monastery into a world that blurs faith, reality, and dark humor in unsettling ways. Explore eerie environments, solve light puzzles, and experience unusual story sequences shaped by her unsettling companionship, all wrapped in bold themes, expressive art direction, and novel-inspired surrealism. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Castlevania Anniversary Collection is a compilation of classic 2D action platformers that trace the origins of the legendary vampire hunting franchise, featuring 8 beloved games plus the previously untranslated Kid Dracula. You'll explore the gothic castles and haunted landscapes of each title and master tight platforming and combat mechanics, while uncovering the lore of the Belmont clan and their allies. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 20 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $7, 50% off, Time Flies puts you in the wings of a fly with a short life but a long bucket list, letting you learn an instrument, read a book, become rich, get drunk, or make someone smile before your time runs out. Explore painstakingly hand-drawn, densely detailed world, chase dozens of unique and obscure goals, discover numerous intriguing ways to die, and experience grimly variable life expectancy depending on where you land. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 75% off, Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series is a remastered collection of 3D side-scrolling action platformers featuring Klonoa Door to Phantomile and Klonoa 2 Lunatea's Veil. Journey through vibrant, dreamlike worlds, solve environmental puzzles, and defeat quirky enemies using Klonoa's ring and wind-based abilities, blending precise platforming, clever mechanics, and exploration with hidden paths and collectibles. It's an 86 average on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 65% off, Potion Craft is an alchemist simulator where you physically grind, mix, and brew ingredients in your cauldron, running your own shop by inventing recipes and mapping routes on the alchemy map to combine potion effects. Sell your creations to customers with real consequences, buy or grow your own ingredients, befriend or feud with notable figures and guilds, and customize your potions' bottles, labels, and names to showcase your creations. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 67% off, Beyond Galaxyland is a 2.5D adventure RPG following Doug, whisked away to Galaxyland, a zoo-like solar system, on a quest with his guinea pig Boom Boom and robot Marty Bot to defend the universe from the all-powerful entity known as the End. Explore unique worlds full of quests, puzzles, and characters, engage in strategic turn-based combat by scanning enemies to learn their weaknesses, and capture creatures to unleash against epic bosses. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Death End Request is a narrative-driven JRPG where a video game programmer must save his missing colleague, trapped as the sole player in the virtual world of their game. Jump between the real and in-game worlds, solve puzzles using the game's mechanics, and battle enemies in turn-based combat that shifts between shooter, fighting, and RPG styles while using character-specific skills to access hidden treasures. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 67% off, Penny's Big Breakaway is a kinetic 3D platformer starring performer Penny and her living yo-yo, tangled in a chaotic audition for Eddie the Emperor after a cosmic string encounter, forced to clear her name and outrun his penguin army across the fluorescent world of Macaroon. chain combos, use snack power-ups to transform Yo-Yo's abilities, and play through story mode or time attack mode to climb leaderboards and unlock secret stages. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, 8-Bit Adventures 2 is a nostalgic JRPG blending turn-based combat with vibrant 8-bit visuals in a fantastical, airship explorable world where you customize a party of 7 characters to face a mistreated child with impossible powers. Freely swap allies mid-battle, execute team attacks, finish enemies with Omega Bursts, explore ancient ruins, solve robot murder mysteries, and take on super bosses in a heartfelt tale with a tragic villain. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7, 90% off, Need for Speed Unbound is a high-octane street racing game where you race through Lakeshore, outsmart cops, and compete in weekly qualifiers to reach the Grand, the city's ultimate racing challenge. You'll customize a variety of cars and motorbikes, drift, drag, and engage in PvP showdowns, while taking on dynamic events across a vibrant, neon-lit world with a thumping global soundtrack that keeps adrenaline pumping. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Tales of Symphonia Remastered is an epic JRPG where you explore a vibrant, expansive world filled with memorable characters and an emotionally charged story that spans continents, cultures, and conflicts. You'll engage in fast-paced, real-time combat using hundreds of special attacks and magic spells, and team up with up to 3 friends in local co-op to take on powerful enemies, bosses, and thrilling encounters. It's an 85 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $6, 30% off, Let Them Come Onslaught throws you into retro sci-fi bullet heaven action, arming you with flamethrowers, photon sabers, and orbital strikes to face down waves of alien enemies. Craft your build each run, stacking devastating upgrades tailored for crowd control, precision, or pure destruction, unlocking new skills and mastering combos as you experiment with weapon synergies to push deeper into enemy territory. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, and I'm not sure about trophy difficulty or time to platinum as it's such a small sample size. For $7, 65% off, Witchwood is a crafting adventure set in an expressive land of gothic fables and fairy tales where you play the mysterious old witch in the woods, exploring a strange countryside, collecting magical ingredients, and brewing sorcerous enchantments. Pass your twisted judgment upon a capricious cast of characters, teaching them the moral of the story whether they like it or not, in a darkly whimsical tale of folklore and mischief. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6, 80% off, Prey is a deeply atmospheric sci-fi thriller that strands you aboard Talos 1, a massive, high-tech research station orbiting the moon in 2032. You awaken as the central subject of a dangerous experiment gone horribly wrong, unleashing a shape-shifting alien threat known as the Typhon that turns every corridor, lab, and maintenance shaft into a deadly, unpredictable maze, all while you explore the sprawling, interconnected station. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $9, 80% off, the Blasphemous 1 and 2 bundle is a dark, punishing action platformer collection where you play as the Penitent One, facing grotesque enemies and the twisted power of the Miracle across 2 hauntingly detailed worlds. Traverse perilous landscapes, uncover hidden secrets, and engage in precise, strategic combat through the cursed lands of Custodia and beyond into the mysterious world of Blasphemous 2. It's an 82 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 45 hours to get both platinums. For $10, 80% off, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is a celebrated JRPG following Yuri and friends as they navigate a richly detailed world dominated by the Empire and its powerful Blastia technology. As the paths of 2 childhood friends intertwine, you'll uncover conspiracies, face dangerous foes, and embark on an epic journey filled with heartfelt moments, political intrigue, and emotional twists that could change the world forever. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 175 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Observer System Redux is a cyberpunk psychological horror game that casts you as neural detective Daniel Lazarski in the dystopian year 2084. Investigate a grimy Krakow apartment block using neural interrogations, Dream Eater mind dives, and redesigned stealth mechanics, while experiencing PS5 enhancements like 4K resolution and HDR lighting, and new side cases like Errant Signal or Fearful Symmetry, and It Runs in the Family. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $10, 75% off, Oddworld Soulstorm Enhanced Edition follows Abe leading a revolution against a profiteering class enslaving his species, combining action platforming with choices that shape multiple endings across a massive 2.9D world. Choose brute force or stealth to survive impossible odds, scavenge ingredients to craft weapons for your followers, unlock hidden levels, and dive into the new Toby's Escape mode for an even more explosive experience. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, Dungeons of Hinterberg is a charming action-adventure set in a stylized Australian Alps tourist town, where corporate burnout Louisa conquers mysterious dungeons filled with playful puzzles and magical twists, harnessing wind, conjuring a hoverboard, or freezing enemies in jelly. Explore stunning alpine scenery by day and forge friendships with locals and adventurers by night, growing stronger while enjoying the town's relaxed atmosphere. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 75% off, Tinykin is an action-adventure platformer where Milo finds himself shrunk to ant size in a world frozen in 1991, teaming up with a mysterious Tinykin to navigate a sprawling, insect-populated metropolis. Use over 100 Tinykin with unique powers to create ladders, bridges, and explosions, explore cities built by ants and beetles, and collect upgrades to improve his bubble pack and complete the enigmatic Rid-Me machine. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8, 87% off, Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Season Pass bundle lets you customize and train your own warrior to help Trunks fight new enemies and restore the series' original story, joining over 200 players in the Toki Toki City Hub to fight together or in tournaments. The Season Pass extends the experience with every DLC pack sold separately, adding playable characters, episodes and quests, masters and their quests, new stages, skills, costumes, and Z-Souls. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $9, 75% off, Asterigos, Curse of the Stars is an action RPG set in Office, a city-state inspired by ancient Rome and classical Greece, full of magic and a dark curse waiting to be unraveled. Mix and match 6 weapon types, dual blades, spear, hammer, staff, magic bracelets, and more, while battling 60 monster types, 22 unique bosses, and uncovering the city's history through documents and Hilda's personal diary. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $10, 50% off, Persona 3 Portable is a remastered, critically acclaimed RPG that redefined the Persona series, placing you in the shoes of a high school student who awakens a persona during the mysterious Dark Hour. Battle shadows, climb the towering dungeon of Tartarus, and uncover the truth behind this eerie, hidden time, while forming deep social bonds with unforgettable characters and navigating complex relationships. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $8, 90% off, Code Vein Deluxe Edition is a dark action RPG in a post-apocalyptic world where you play as a revenant, granted powers at the cost of your memories, fighting amid ruins and deadly enemies. Explore atmospheric environments, engage in intense customizable combat, and team up with AI companions to face monstrous Lost, with this edition including the full game, Season Pass, alternate Mia set, and Insatiable Bloodthirst accessory set. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Cat Quest 3 is a whimsical 2.5D open-world action RPG where you play a swashbuckling privateer exploring the pirate-themed Caribbean in search of the legendary Northern Star. Sail your ship across vibrant seas, battle hordes of pirates, and use a refined combat system with tight combos, weapon swapping, ferocious spells, and environmental interactions, all playable solo or in local co-op with friends. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9, 60% off, Gravity Circuit is a flashy 2D action platformer that channels classic 80s and 90s console gameplay while injecting fast-paced, over-the-top combat. Take control of Kai, the last line of defense against the returning virus army, as you punch, grapple, and unleash powers across stages, rescue civilians, unlock abilities, and defeat bosses, while navigating platforming sequences and uncovering hidden secrets in each level. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5, 65% off, Dicey Dungeons turns you into a giant walking dice, battling through an ever-changing dungeon to escape the whims of Lady Luck, now including the free Reunion DLC with 6 brand new episodes. Plays 6 wildly different classes, from warrior to witch, fighting dozens of quirky enemies, finding better loot, and balancing careful strategy against the unknown of a dice roll in this fast-paced, procedurally generated deck-building roguelike. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $10, 25% off, Easy Delivery Co. is a relaxing driving game where you become a delivery driver in a once lively mountain town plagued with bad weather, making deliveries in your K-truck while uncovering the story of the town's definitely not mysterious residents. Take in the scenery or blitz through with road safety optional, buy drastically overpriced gas, get to know the locals, and vibe out to cool beats with simple controls and retro graphics. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 50% off, Lushfoil Photography Sim lets you trek through recreations of beautiful locations worldwide, capturing vistas with a fully featured in-game camera while chasing objectives and hidden secrets across an ethereal soundtrack. Fine-tune settings like focus, exposure, aperture, and burst shot, manipulate light angles, fog, snow, and rain for the perfect shot, and unlock cameras like a first-person drone or hidden rowboat for unique perspectives. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7, 75% off, Chia is a vibrant open-world adventure where you explore a tropical archipelago to rescue your father from the tyrant Mayavora, climbing, gliding, and sailing through lush islands. Take control of animals and objects with Chia's soul-jumping ability, solve physics-based puzzles, tackle combat encounters against fabric soldiers, and customize your boat and outfits while uncovering mystical totems and totem shrine challenges. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, OTXO sends you into an inexplicable mansion in search of your lost love, cutting through unique areas with a massive variety of guns and abilities while using the slow-mo focus mechanic to dodge bullets and face your inner demons. Battle through 8 areas built from over 150 handcrafted rooms randomized every run, unlock weapons and abilities from an enigmatic bartender, and adapt to enemies that turn the tide of combat. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 30 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $10, 50% off, Virgo vs. the Zodiac is a sci-fi fantasy JRPG casting you as Virgo, the Holy Queen, on a cosmic quest to bring back the Golden Age of Peace by forcing the Zodiac realms to conform to her worldview. Master a turn-based combat system built on timed blocks, counters, and predicting foes' moves across uniquely designed fights with no random encounters, explore multiple endings and Zodiac backstories, and even ride alpacas along the way. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $6, 35% off, Islanders New Shores is a minimalist city builder where you build colorful settlements across procedurally generated islands, mixing peaceful creativity with puzzle-like strategy across 50 levels, 6 biomes, and 44 building types. You balance efficiency, scoring, and aesthetics to craft unique landscapes, with sandbox mode for freeform play, photo mode with filters and a rotating camera, tactical boons, and an original soundtrack. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $8, 60% off, Thumper is a brutal rhythm action game where players control a space beetle racing through a hellish void at blistering speeds while confronting a terrifying giant head from the future. Smash through punishing obstacles, master precise controls, and survive intense boss battles as every movement syncs with a pounding soundtrack, creating a chaotic, immersive, and adrenaline-filled experience playable in both 2D and VR. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $6, 60% off, Headliner Novi News puts you in control of the news, stamping articles green to approve or red to reject as you decide whether to endorse healthcare reform, demonize an investor's product, or back a government amid rising tensions with a neighboring country. Emerge onto the streets of Novastan after work to see the consequences of your choices unfold, whether that's graffiti and riots or a peaceful utopia watched over by cameras and drones. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $10, 84% off, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a fast, flashy 3v3 fighting game that perfectly captures the explosive battles and iconic characters of the Dragon Ball universe with incredible authenticity and non-stop visual flair. Blending stunning anime-style visuals with easy-to-learn but hard-to-master mechanics, it lets you build dream teams, pull off high-speed tag combos, and battle across competitive ranked play, casual lobbies, and party matches. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $6, 85% off, Control Ultimate Edition combines the base game with all expansions, including the Foundation and AWE, delivering a complete, visually stunning experience. Step into the Federal Bureau of Control, where a corrupted presence threatens reality itself, and wield telekinetic powers alongside transforming weaponry to annihilate enemies, manipulate environments, and uncover dark secrets throughout unpredictable levels. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $6, 50% off, Sayonara Wild Hearts is an action game where you ride motorcycles, skate, and engage in fast-paced combat while chasing high scores, performing stunts, and breaking hearts at 200 miles an hour. As the heart of a young woman shatters, the balance of the universe is disturbed, and a diamond butterfly guides her through a surreal highway in the sky to confront her masked alter ego, the Fool, while mastering each rhythm-based challenge. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7, 70% off, Void Terrarium is a roguelike adventure where you control a scrapped janitorial robot trying to keep a defenseless human girl alive in a post-apocalyptic world filled with ruins, hazards, and remnants of humanity. Explore procedurally generated wasteland levels, gather food, medicine, and crafting materials, and confront hostile creatures and rogue robots while managing the girl's health, upgrading equipment, and making strategic decisions. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8, 65% off, Vernal Edge is a pixel art Metroidvania where you play Vernal, a young woman seeking her estranged father across the floating islands of Haricot while confronting the Church of Aloe. Explore towns and dungeons, master fast-paced combat with combos and spells, and unlock new abilities while piloting your aircraft to traverse islands freely and uncover secrets, puzzles, hidden lore, and ancient mysteries across the kingdom. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is, if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sale stuff that I put out, leave a like, and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.